So a quicker way to find the mean is from a data set is to just use the your calculator and just enter the data. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take your calculator. This is an older model of Casio emulator. If you have a newer Casio emulator, you'll also be able to calculate the median, the quartiles, the minimum and maximum values, and more. It'll have more statistical functions, but for this one it only has the capacity to really give you the minimum, the maximum, the mean, and standard deviation. So first up, we need to put it in mode. So we're going to hit mode, going to hit number 2 for statistics, we're going to hit number 1 for single variable. And this is fine if you're just dealing with a dataset, but because we have a frequency distribution, we need to make another adjustment. So we're going to hit shift, and that'll hit this button here, mode. So if it shifts, then it'll go into setup, and then we need to go down, and we need to hit number 3 for stat, and we want to turn frequency on by hitting 1. Okay, so now we need to enter our class center values and our frequency values, and we do this by hitting them one at a time and hitting equals. So the first one we hit 7, and then equals, and then 12, and then equals, and then 17, equals 22, and equals 27, equals 32, equals, and 37, equals. And then we need to tell it what the frequencies are for each one of these values. We do this just by moving around. So in the first one we have 1, so we don't need to change anything. In the second one we have 0, so hit 0 and equals. In the third one we have 2, and then 3, and then 7, and then 18, and then 16. Okay, now all the data has been entered. We just hit the all clear button, and then we hit shift and 1. See, it says stat, and we have some options here. We can go into 2, which will give us back to the data, so we can make some edits if we need to, but we're going to be looking for 5. And 5 shows us our, to get our mean, we hit 2, and then we hit equals. And we can see that our mean is the same value we got here, just it hasn't been rounded yet. Okay, so if we go back and we hit, if you had a newer calculator and you hit 6 for min-max, it would have min-max, it would also have your quartiles, and it would also have your median value, but this one doesn't. And if we go back again, we can go to no, that's all we needed to look at. So that's how you get your median on your mean on your calculator. On this calculator, you still have to calculate your mean, and you'll still calculate your mode and other things, but those aren't too difficult. This is just a quick way to enter the data in. Okay, another model of calculator that I've been told that you guys use is the Sharps. So we're just going to look at that really quickly as well. So I might just hit mode, put it in statistics mode, hit 0, and then we're going to enter in some data. This is a bit different than the other one because it doesn't let you put in a frequency of 0. So for your first one you're hitting 7, and then you're going to ignore the 12 value because it has nothing in it. 17, 22, 27, 32, and 37, and that's all our class centers. Then we go back up the top and we put in the frequencies. So that's 1, this is 2, 3, 7, 18, and 16. Now we hit this little change button to leave, and then we hit alpha, and above the number 8 is stat. So if I scroll down, you can see that if I hit 4, I can actually get the min, max. We can get the minimum, the maximum, quartile 1, the median, and quartile 3. If we go back again, well, let's just hit 1. Let's get quartile 1, which we worked out before is 27. Okay, so if we go back to statistics, and we just hit, this is 2. Here we have our number of values, our mean, our standard deviation, and our sample standard deviation, and our population standard deviation as well. So if we go our mean, we get the same value there as well. So when you're doing these grouped data and single data, you can enter them straight into your calculator and get the answer. You don't have to do this manually unless you want to. And I'll put up some, I might put up some videos of how to calculate the standard deviation manually as well. Okay, so that's all we have for now. Yeah,